Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zap. Today I'm going to be coming back with another one here. This is CCIV, currently known as Churchill Capital Ordinary Shares Class number 4. This one here is going to through a reverse merger with Lucid Air. I'm going to cover everything we could find about Lucid Air, what's expected in that merger, and everything I could find about this one. So make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on, and let's jump right into this one. So, Lucid Air, or CCIV future on to be Lucid Air. So this one here is quite interesting. It honestly really gives me right off the bat somewhere between Neo and Tesla. Or, in other terms, an American Neo. It really gives me that little bit of feeling, and then a little bit off basically what it was previously SPAQ and now Fisker FSR. It kind of gives me a vibe, and you'll get to see as we go on. So Lucid Air here, this is another EV that is going to be on the market sometime soon. Delivery begins in spring 2021, which is not far. Guys, we're in 2021. So that is amazing. It starts from $69,900 with around projected mileage of 517. Now, just a quick thing, maximum projected mileage of 517 miles is not for the base model, so you would have to go just a little bit down. You get to see the actual projected range is 406 miles for the model of $69,900, and the horsepowers on this one is 480 horsepowers. Now, moving on just towards a bit of things here and there that I want to cover before going on a little bit in depth and comparing other vehicles. After they evaluated over 60 sites in 13 states for Lucid Motors factory, they chose the 500 acres property in Casa Grande, Arizona, located between Phoenix and Tucson. And with easy reach of their Silicon Valley headquarters, the Casa Grande offered close proximity to critical utilities and established transportational systems and strong support from state and local governments. So this one here is basically, well, the facility is the first greenfield on-purpose EV factory in North America, designed for exact specifications. It is going to have its first phase merely after 12 months of breaking ground, outfitted with the world's most advanced production line equipments, and the factory will have initial capacity to produce 10,000 cars a year and over 300,000 annually with planned expansions. So that is amazing. Of course, you get to see a little bit of a clip of their progress so far. That is, I'm not exactly sure when the production line starts, but I don't expect it before. Well, I do expect it perhaps somewhere first or second quarter of 2021, or at least some of the productions to start occurring, because they're having the delivery for the first batches in spring 2021. Now, the next thing here is their future vehicles. And if this doesn't give you a Fisker kind of vibe, I don't know what does. So Sport Utility Reimagined Project Gravity. It kind of reminds me just a tad with Fisker a little. It's more of an SUV. It will arrive in 2023. And it's basically more of a luxury, somewhere between a luxury SUV. And that is not something you see a lot. Luxury SUVs usually are not met with electrical vehicles, unless maybe you're talking about some... or at least not with this performance in general. So excited to see about this one. Major Fisker vibe again on the back here. That line, again, a little bit maybe with a bit of Cybertruck vibe with that line. I'm not exactly sure what I'm feeling about this one, but it looks familiar. The car looks familiar for sure. The next thing here is their electrical charging. So Electrify America is building the most extensive nationwide network of ultra-fast 350 kilowatt charging station. A collaboration with Lucid puts at their disposal 2,000 individual charging locations, a number that is rapidly expanding. When you order a US market Lucid in 2021, you'll also receive a complimentary access to fast charging sessions at the Electrify American networks for 3 years. But this offer is valid before the end of the year 2021 and available only in the US. So the next thing here is the Lucid Air, and this one here basically says it's race-proven performance, and it was tested on tracks, and it basically, Lucid Air has established itself as a world-class performer on the highway and at the track. Now, they also have a media room here, So a lot of people were saying, okay, it's a little bit hard to find and dig information about this one. There's a lot of information, not an SEC filing because it's a new release of a merger, but in their media room or press release. So you get to see Lucid Motors expands retail locations in the US with first East Coast studios in South Florida. Lucid Motors completes construction on first green electric vehicle factory in North America. So 12 months after that would probably be December of 2021. Lucid Motors expands California studio with new locations in Century City and San Jose. Lucid Motors expands luxury EV lineup with the most attainable Lucid Air model yet, featuring 406 miles of range and 480 horsepower from just $69,900. Lucid Motors opens studio and service in Beverly Hills, and Lucid Motors unveils Lucid Air. So we already have, there you go, around all the news back to early September. And when I'm talking about different versions, here are the different versions. Specifically, we're looking at the Air Dream editions, more limited editions, and the future models. So the first thing that you're looking at that is in fact available in spring 2021 is the Air Dream edition, which is not the $69,000-$90,000 one. That one actually arrives in early 2022. So for the sake of the argument here, we can start comparing the Air Dream edition, but it is obviously in a luxury kind of style because of the price. It is $161,500. More comparable one that we're going to use this video to compare with is the Air Pure. That one is for $69,900. Early 2022 is the expected delivery. And from there on, we can start comparing a little bit of this vehicle. So the projected mileage for this one is 406 miles and 480 horsepower. Now, quickly going on towards, let's say, Tesla, could be maybe Model 3 or maybe a Model S. Anyway, for Model S, it is comparable. For Model 3, it is still beating Model 3 in terms of the miles range. And then going quickly down towards the price point. So this is just a basic kind of model that I went for, and I tried to look at the price. The price point here is around $69,900, as they did mention. Now, the actual price of the vehicle, if you want to buy it outside, is $77,400, but you do get federal tax credit. I believe that is actually in the U.S. only. Some places like Canada does as well offer that credit, but this vehicle is not in Canada yet. So yes, we said sorry, my bad, there 480 horsepower and 406 miles projected miles. Now over here, what you're looking at is for the Model 3, it's 30,000. 30,000. That is, I don't believe that does include the California Clean Fuel Act and all that stuff. The mileage on that is 263. Now, if we were to go to, let's say, the long range, 353, that is 39,190. Still $30,000 less. Now, okay, let's say, well, it's very much similar to the Model S. That one is very much comparable. Long range plus is around 402. That one, if you remember, it is very, very much comparable as well. You're looking at 406, so 4 miles, pretty much the same thing. So you can say it is very much exactly similar to the Model S. In fact, it is a little bit more expensive than that. So that is something to consider. Now we can try to go on and check more different specifications about interiors or everything in between, but I don't think that is the purpose of it. We want to just look at a general overview. Now, there's recharging minutes. There's more information that Tesla gives you, for instance, in more details. This one, since it's coming in early 2022, there is a little bit of different details that we don't have. So anyway, moving now forward a little bit to some of the other details that we can find about this one here. So we have, this is the PDF that you're able to download when you're designing your own vehicle. So that's something kind of nice. It is very similar as well to Tesla when you choose to design your own vehicle. And you get into this kind of game thing where you choose the colors you want and it changes it, and then interiors, looks, roof. And then there is something called packages here, which is basically, I did expect some AI. That is not clear. It's just basically, it's an all leather, more of look inside. In terms of trying to find if they do have, let's say, AI or auto drive, I do expect that probably to come at some point, but that is not explicitly mentioned in the designing of the vehicle, what options you can put and what not. Of course, that will come later on in the future. Now, of course, this is a SPAC. We don't have exact merger date, but we are currently in this upper run. So you do expect at some point to see a pullback and then a massive other run closer to the merger date. So just keep that in mind. If you've watched my videos, you will see this one as often as you can. I put them often in terms of different SPACs, etc. Now, if you haven't done so, before moving to technical analysis, please make sure to subscribe and leave notifications on. It helps me. Every subscriber counts. It is not a cliche that I want to brag about that, oh, I have more subscribers. No, it is based on having my videos getting more exposure and then results motivating me to make a lot more of these videos. If you have any suggestions or comments or feedback, mention them down in the comments below. I take every one of them. Now, technical analysis point of view, the 80X shows that, okay, it has been above 54 a while, and so the 80X here is not really an indication we should go for. Not for anything, it's just because it's a SPAC. SPACs don't really follow the indicators to heart, at least not this way. Moving averages are bullish, 1143 on the top, 1083 in the as the 30 EMA, so that's the trading action zone between these two, and 1016 is at the 50 SMA. But indicators, as I said, is not going to reflect, especially with only 3 days of movement. But everything does look bullish. But news will move this one rather than technical analysis. Now, on a 2-hour perspective, this one I would say, yes, this one probably moves a little bit better because you are putting it into a little bit of a shorter term. So the indicators have time to flush out. The 80X shows you at some point in the next few days, you might actually see a pullback, which is expected from that chart. I don't know if it's a few days, it's a week or 2 weeks. We still don't know the merger date or the date of the merger, my bad. 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, really bullish, and it's above the 50 SMA. The trading action zone where positive reversals are likely is between 1543 and 1371. Now, everything else does look bullish, it's overbought, but that is because it's seen a massive push in the short term. Moving averages band is 1179 in the top, 1072 in the middle, and 964 in the bottom. The longer ones is around 1425 from the very top and 718 in the bottom. Don't expect this one to have a lot of accuracy because, again, it's a SPAC and they usually accumulate or start around the $10 and move on from there. Now, the stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both looking really, really nice. They're showing that there probably is another leg up and things are looking bullish. And what it doesn't tell you that, okay, this is the bottom, but it does definitely tell you there very likely is another leg up. Now, the current Fibonacci retracements gives you supports and resistances. The current level is 1551, 1425, 1336, and 1247, followed by 1138 as a support. The only resistance here is 1712. Significant supports and resistances using the traditional methods is 1649 here, followed by 1601, followed by 1554, followed by 1491, 1451, a significant one at the 1402, or 1347, 1299. Then things start to look a little bit rough, so we're going to do 30 minutes here to try to find it. And we're looking down to 1117. Now, comes to the question to Ed, what do you think is going to happen with this one? If you remember the chart that I just showed you not long ago about SPACs, I definitely think that there will be a pullback at some point, and then later on, we're going to see a massive, massive push. Remember, this is an EV. EVs are hot, and SPACs are hot. Merge the two together, you got an atomic bomb. That is what I'm looking at, and I definitely think this is actually going to see highs. Now, above 1405, I definitely think that probably would be a historical support. Another very strong support is the 1484, around that range. Even if after it drops, if it does see that massive dip, I am buying a lot more because first thing I saw when I looked at this ticker was I need to buy now. And that is a good indication because I'm thinking EV and SPAC, it's hot. I know the balance sheets, we don't have a lot. The SEC filings haven't been in yet for a lot more details and a very much in-depth breakdown. But looking into the CEO with the really amazing fireside chat that they actually had not a long time ago. I really recommend you watch it. It really describes of how they go on about these acquisitions, how they are completed, the process is going through it, and really everything are very bullish. Long term, I definitely think this would be a massive long term. Remember, Nikola didn't have a actual working product, and it did go to $60. And for the time, even I think when it was going to $40, they didn't even have a location for a production facility. This one here, at least they started it. They have a location. They're going on forward. I definitely like this one as a long-term investment. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.